issues that women go through. At least it's time for us to take stock. That's why in this particular edition we are going to be talking about gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, we all know, is in our community, and we are going to be looking at the health effects. And I will bring to you our guest for today. She's the one to do the talking. Let me not just go too much into the topic. We have Tuko Ruth Tabi, who is a public health specialist. It's a pleasure to have you again on this program.
Thank you, Madam Alice, for having me once more.
All right. A happy Women's Day in advance.
Thank you, and happy Women's Day to you and to the entire High TV team.
Thank you so much. Today we are talking about gender-based violence. I know so many people have heard about it, but since we are discussing it on this program, it's very important for us to first of all start with what is gender-based violence.
Okay, when we talk about gender-based violence, we are looking at every harm caused to a woman, be it physical, be it emotional, be it psychological, be it sexual or harassment. I would like to clarify that gender-based violence is irrespective of the age, of the gender, and of the race. So yes, gender-based violence equally occurs in men. But for today, since in March is the month of the woman, we are the eve of Women's Day, we are going to specifically talk about gender-based violence in women and in the girl child.
Okay. All right. When we talk about gender-based violence, we know that there are many types of GBV, and even those that we are not even aware of. So it's important that we look at the different types of GBV.
Okay, so gender-based violence is really broad. We have several types of gender-based violence. I would like to start with the sexual violence. That is sexual violence caused to women, which generally we know it as rape. Yeah, that's forceful, forcing oneself sexually on the woman. We have physical violence, that's beating, torture, any harm caused physically to a woman. That's also a type of gender-based violence. Then we have psychological violence, that's throwing hurtful words, saying a lot of hurtful things, like bringing down the person's mental or morale. That's equally another type of gender-based violence. Then we also have harassment, because gender-based violence combines violence at home, which is known as domestic violence, and violence in the workplace too. So yes, we have gender-based violence which take place in the workplace, and we have gender-based violence which take place at home, which we also call intimate partner violence, which is a type of violence whereby it's inflicted by a man having a romantic relationship with a woman. Then we also have psychological verbal violence, like your partner keeps on saying hurtful words, insulting you. Then we have socioeconomic violence too, like a man get married to his wife and refuses that he or she does anything, brings her down to a housewife. She's in the house, withdraws every financial entries from her. That we call socioeconomic violence. Then we have verbal violence. So I've listed sexual violence, we have physical violence, we have psychological or emotional violence, we have harassment. We have harassment, which is a part of violence too. So all of these are the various types of gender-based violence we have in our society today.
Okay. I want us to look at the various, because you just mentioned all of them and just explain a little bit. I want us to go now gradually. Let's look at the physical violence.
Okay.
Now that we say it can be domestic and it can be at work.
Yes, so when we talk about physical violence, it's beating. When a partner beats, when a partner causes injury using whatsoever type of weapon, a stick, an axe, a machete, or a gun, yes, inflicting pain on the partner at home, there we mention it as that's domestic violence. When it is done outside of the home, let's say in the community or in the workplace, that's the gender-based violence, but it's no longer domestic violence. Domestic violence is only when this is done in the confinement of a home. Then now when we talk of being in a relationship, when both partners are in a romantic relationship, there we talk about intimate partner violence, when both partners are in a relationship. So any form of pain, any form of harm that is inflicted on a partner, that's what we call domestic violence. Beating, hitting, biting, all of that.
Then we talk about psychological. I really want you to talk about this one.
Yes, that's bringing down the person's morale. We all know that a human being, mental health is a form of health today in our society we really neglect, whereas it's a key aspect. No human being can be able to live or walk about if your mental health is not in stake. So many people outside there, I'll call them, they are kind of psychopaths. I'll use, since we are the perpetrators here today will be using at the men who inflict this pain on the women. So these men go about reducing these women, like they'll get married or they are dating this woman, and every blessed day they insult the woman, they make her think she's nothing, she's nobody, especially let's say those who have not gone to school, those who don't have the means. So they bring down her morale, and she's like she's nobody, she's not. Some even go as far as locking them up, like yes, locking them up indoors. You cannot go out, cannot visit friends, cannot visit family. Yes, that's psychological and emotional violence.
Okay. And then you talk about harassment.
Yes, that's harassment. That is forcing yourself on someone when the person does not want you. We mostly see it in the community, at workplace. And yes, I would like to highlight that sexual violence and rape occurs in marriage too. People should not just take it the fact that I'm married to this person, and each time the person, my husband, wants me, I must just give it to him. There must be consent. There must be approval. If the wife does not approve sexual intercourse for the husband, it is known as rape, and it is sexual violence in the couple. So yes, when we talk of harassment, we're talking about forcing oneself. It can be between colleagues, it can be between friends in the community, like wanting to forcefully kiss someone, want to forcefully hug someone. So yes, that's a form of harassment.
Okay. You talk about social economic, something about social economic.
Yeah, social economic violence, that's withholding finances from a woman, like refusing her to go get a job in order to fund her needs, withholding her form of livelihood, refusing her to get a job to meet her basic needs, to even sell small stuff to go to work. So yes, like blocking the finances from reaching her to meet her basic needs. Yes, that's what we call socio-economic violence.
And verbal violence.
Verbal violence, saying harshful words, saying irritating words that you know fully well that this will bring down the morale of this person, this will hurt the person, speaking down on someone, on the person's physique, on the person's way of maybe dressing, on the way of person's talking. Because when you're living with someone at home, you know the person's weaknesses. You know that if I touch this person's point, it's going to hurt this person. So you now, as the spouse, you use that person's weakness verbally now to hurt that person. That's called verbal violence.
Okay. All right. We've looked at all of these different types of gender-based violence method on women. Like you said, women and girls. Since we are celebrating the Women's Day, we are not saying that men are not being violated. They are. But we just want to limit this topic today for women and girls. Let's look at the causes. You've mentioned so many types. What could be the cause?
Actually, when we talk of gender-based violence, there's no cause. Today, I want to make the victims know that you are not responsible for the violence that occurred to you. You are not responsible for the rape. You're not responsible for what the perpetrators did to you. There's no cause. The perpetrator is responsible for their act. It's not because a lady dressed somehow. It's not because a lady is not educated. It's not because a lady doesn't have a certain financial status in the society that she should be violated. So practically, generally, there's no cause. There's nothing that should push a man to violate a lady or violate his partner. Yes, so I will say it that way.
Anyways, well, okay, let's look at in a long run, if a woman or a girl child is going through this violation, let's say psychological, or it could be any of them, and no action is taken, nobody is walking up to her to try to see how they can solve the problem or to take her out of that situation, what could be the culprits in the long run?
I would like to start saying that when I was preparing for this program, the statistics gotten on reports from women, from girls being violated is low. Why? Because girls don't speak up. They are afraid. The society has placed a stigma on the girl child. The society has placed a bad image of violation on the girl child. So the girl child, first of all, is afraid to go to her guidance, to go to her parents, to even say, I've been violated, I've been raped, I've been harassed. So there is, first of all, that stigma that comes in with all of this. So I'll plead with the parents, I'll plead with the guardians today to take note of your children. Uncles come to the house these days because statistics have shown that most girl children from teenage age, from childhood, are being violated by close family members, uncles, family friends who come to the house, and they are being threatened. I don't know how I'm going to feel if my daughter walks up to me and tell me that maybe my brother or an uncle of mine violated her. Some family members do cover that up because we are in Africa, we are in Cameroon. The shame is going to bring organizing a family meeting and saying that this uncle has raped this little girl. So there are a lot of things. I think sensitization needs to be done first at the level of our homes, at the level of the family. We should be aware that these things occur. We should be aware because it causes a lot of trauma. I won't lie to you. Several girls, their lives have been spoiled. They have been traumatized because they cannot speak to their parents about it. They cannot speak, and they change. You see a little girl child, she was very outgoing, she was brilliant in school, she was outspoken, but after the trauma, after the violence, after the rape, she just shuts down. She changes her behavior. She no longer speaks. The happy and cheerful young girl becomes something else. She's locked up. Some of them decide and become something else. Like you see a girl, very nice, from a good brought up home, she decides that since she was raped, she becomes a prostitute. She said, oh, since this person took away my virginity, what's the need? She just gives it to everybody. And so these different types of trauma occur in the society. So the sensitization should start in the family. Families should know what to do in case where and also social workers in the hospital, because cases of rape, some families do report them, but our social workers have a negligent attitude. You will take a girl child to the hospital and you will see that look on the nurses' faces. Yeah. The girl child, she's so demoralized. She even starts regretting why she came to the hospital for help. She starts regretting why she spoke up. So majority of the women, you will see grandmothers who were raped from childhood, but they never spoke up. They kept it. Wow. They got married. They raised children, had grandchildren, but they never spoke up that they were harassed, that they were raped. So this is a very important situation whereby the government and NGOs should really tackle, because it's at the root, it's at the heart of the society.
Okay, I want us to also look at, we are talking about long-term effect if not reported, or if somebody does not step in, how it's going to affect the person's health. This other gender-based violence at home, where you see some women, recently we had a case in Nigeria that a gospel artist who died. You see, okay, I'm looking at in a situation where a woman has been going through that for a very long period of time, and maybe because of our cultures, like you said, because we're in Africa, you just have to be submissive, you just have to persevere. We are looking at you going through all that for a very long period of time and the health risk.
So some of the risk of this, women fall into depression. That is a state of depression where she does not want to do anything. She's traumatized. Some commit suicide actually. Some people, yes. Some have anxiety. Some have sleep disorders. Some are really traumatized. Like you see someone, she's going to her workplace and she sits, but that event keeps recurring in her mind, and immediately you come towards her, you touch her, she shivers and she's so traumatized. So these are scenarios which if not taken by experts, if not handled by experts, live with a woman for the rest of their lives. So we have trauma, we have anxiety, we have sleep disorders, we have substance abuse, because now some of the women, they try now to forget what has happened to them. They enter into smoking, chronic smoking, alcohol, hard drugs. They drink. Some even there are several things like the rape could lead to a pregnancy, and some girls will not want to give birth to that child, lead to abortion, and during that a woman can lose her life during the abortion. Some even lose the cause damage to their female genital organs. So all of that, these are the long-term effects of gender-based violence and of rape that happens in our society.
There's another type of I want us to look at the reproductive rights, that a woman has a right to decide the number of kids or children she needs to have. That's another. Let me say, if you're in a relationship where, or in a marriage where the man wants, or the family of the man, they want about 12 children, and you, the woman, maybe you want about just 4.
Yeah.
Is that another kind of violation?
Yeah, I would say yes. It's another kind of violation, in the sense that as a couple, because now we are out there preaching gender equality. As a couple in the African society, especially in the home, we have it that the man is superior to the woman, and decisions. So decisions as childbirth, when you go to the hospital, when you go for family planning, the nurses ask you, what do you want? Is the woman who chooses the kind of family planning method she wants to get. So yes, the woman has her say. She's the one conceiving, she's the one going through all of the physical changes, the emotional changes, the hormonal changes. So no, I don't think the man has the right to say, no, woman, you're going to give me 10 children whether you like it or not, 12 children. No, the woman has the right to say, no, I want 4 children because I feel like having the 4 children, and I think the law has to back them up. I think that there are laws and rights which back up the woman in that domain. It's her body. We all know what pregnancy causes throughout the 9 months. It's not easy. So yes, the woman has her say in the number of children she wants to bring.
And forth. Also, let me say, if you give birth, let me say if a woman give birth to more than, because there are times where a woman goes to the hospital and the doctor will say, no, it's risky for you to have another baby. I see there are some risk factors too if you keep getting pregnant, and even more to that within a very short period of time.
Yes, well, we've had many scenarios in the hospital where the woman took in another pregnancy against medical advice, and she finally lost her life because the man insisted that you will get pregnant again and you're going to carry the baby. We are Africans, and yes, we have our religion. Some of our religion prohibit abortion, especially for married couples. So the man was like, no, you're not going to abort the baby. But the doctor said that her health condition did not permit her to deliver that baby. And unfortunately, the woman, she lost her life, and the man ended up regretting, because he was left with 4-5 kids, and he was the only one to raise those children. Those are the unfortunate situations we face in health facilities these days.
Okay, with all of this, we want to look at the role of the government and also NGOs.
Yes, I think the government is doing a lot these days in the light of sensitization, in the light of the women's affairs, social affairs. They are doing a lot in sensitizing. I think the major problem is that the women, especially the African woman, the Cameroonian woman, they don't know the power they have. They don't know their rights. Let me put it that way. Women are not aware of the power. The government, the world today is favoring the women. It's actually, yes, you go in for job interviews today and you will see women are highly recommended to apply for this job. What does it mean? It means you are a step ahead of any man applying for that same job. You see, we are ahead. Many women don't know that, actually. Many women don't know that. So the government is actually fighting for these women. Non-governmental organizations too are doing their best. There are a lot of them in Cameroon, a lot of them in Boya. We have Vivadev, who is fighting against gender-based violence. We have Diba, Diversity is Beauty Africa. She's a therapist. They help a lot of young girls overcome rape, overcome trauma. A lot of NGOs are doing a lot. We have international bodies who are funding these NGOs, because one thing I would like to bring out is that there's increase in gender-based violence in the circumference of crisis like what we have now.
So,
The anglophone, yes, the anglophone crisis. It brings displacement. Many people have moved. You will see some families in a small house, 10, 12 people. These are circumstances which favor gender-based violence, which favor sexual harassment, rape, and all. And some of these minute groups which harass people, at times they come into the community and seize these girls, take them as sex slaves and all. So yes, the government and some NGOs are fighting this, trying to make people, the major aim is that the girl child is supposed to be aware. We are supposed to know, the girl child is supposed to know that if I'm victim of this and this, I have to go here. Each region has a delegation of social affairs which handle harassment, rape, and sexual violence. So yes, the government and NGOs are doing something in the country.
yeah, that's true, because even to the extent of you have some NGOs that they used to carry out seminars.
Yes, sensitization, awareness.
And
They
all
even
of
go
that.
to the
I remember
community
the last
and give gifts.
time I think Research Foundation carried out a seminar on mental health.
Yes.
You brought in teachers, they brought in
Counselors, therapists, yes.
to talk to children, and also we have other NGOs that they go and even support these young
in
these
the communities.
in the community,
Yes.
giving them some money to start up and all of that.
Exactly.
It is good. So let's look at gender-based violence and mental health.
So when we talk about gender-based violence and mental health, we are mostly looking at the trauma that this violence is causing. You have families. I would like to bring out this point. It all begins in the home. Children who witness gender-based violence are very different from those who don't, and they grow with it. You see a guy who was victim of his dad beating up his mom while growing up. He becomes naturally he becomes a violent in the society. So it affects his mental health, be it of the girl child, be it of the boy child. So that sensitization has to be there, and it has to be from the root, because if you target the children from the base, if we have a family where we know that the mother always beats up the father always beats up the mother, if an NGO takes up these children, try to bring them, educate them, sensitize them that no, even though your father is beating up your mother, this is not how it should be done. This is not how things are supposed to be happen. So a lot of sensitization, awareness. It causes trauma, it causes depression, it causes anxiety, sleep disorders, because I don't think any woman who is beaten, who is verbally abused, will be able to sleep at night. There's fright, you're always frightened. I don't think you can even do anything. If the woman is a housewife, like, she will just see like her life is being wasted. If you're a career woman, though even your any how much or what position you have in the society, I think at that point your life is so messed up, except you leave that partner. Another point I would like to bring out is the difficulty these non-governmental organizations and social affairs have in separating the victims from the perpetrators. It's difficult. I really can't iron out the cause, but you see a man continuously and chronically beating up his wife, but when the society, the community, or NGOs try to intervene, bring that woman and her children out, few days or few months after, the woman goes back into the man's house, and at that point even the government cannot do anything, because it's her decision to go back into that man's house. So the government or the NGOs who are trying to help can't really do anything to bring that woman out. So there are a lot of mental health disorders that this gender-based violence causes. Basically it's depression. It causes serious depression, anxiety disorder, suicide, substance abuse, and all, and it's really terrible at the end of the day.
There's this other aspect that it's no longer practiced. I don't know, maybe a little bit, but I'm not sure that it's still practiced. This female genital mutilation.
Yes, it's
and
still practiced in some communities in
and
this
then
country.
this other aspect of when you say
Early
young
child
girl,
marriage.
and early girl child marriage, and also the breast. They like they say it's in preaching that I know that they have to send the breast back.
Yes, I
All
think breast ironing.
Okay, breast ironing.
Yes, I would say it's another type of violence. Then I will also like to iron the fact that some causes of this gender-based violence is poverty, because you see in some society in some communities, some of them is their culture. At a certain age, very early, let's say 14, 15, the girl child is already married to a man old enough to be her grandfather, and she does not have the right to say. And you see at that point in time, her genitals or her organs are not fully developed, that she's still very young, and she goes into that man's house and she has to start to reproduce, and all that damages her organs. That damages a lot of her organs. So this poverty too is a major point in that assists in perpetrating gender-based violence. Then this female genital mutilation too, the government is preaching against, NGOs too are preaching against, but there are certain communities that up to date still practice it. So it's a huge fight. Even international communities are trying their best to really fight this, but it keeps on coming up. People say it's their culture, their ancestors left this for them, and they cannot turn away from it. But
the health effects of that female genital mutilation,
destruction of the female genitals, it causes even trauma. The pain the girl child feels after this is so unbelievable, it's unbearable. It destroys her genital, it brings down her self-esteem. Statistics show that some girl children even no longer feel the pleasure during sexual intercourse after the female genital mutilation. So most of them just go in the streets and they have random sex and increase their body count, become prostitutes because of the female genital mutilation. So these are some of the effects of that. Is really rampant now in our society, because till date, when the 21st century 2024, some communities still practice it. So it destroys the female genital organs, it leads to trauma, it leads to depression, and what have you.
If a woman is being violated by the husband, a married woman is being violated by the husband, like you said, she goes into depression, she goes into anxiety. How does that affect her reproductive health?
Please, I didn't get you.
Like I'm saying that if a woman is going through, a married woman, the husband is violating, and then she's going through depression, she's having anxiety, and with all of that, will her reproductive health be in order?
No, in the fact that when there's consensual sex, there are certain hormones that are being produced, because when it's rape, it's just direct penetration, so the woman's body is not ready for that. So yes, there will be some adverse effect at the level of her reproductive organs, even if she's married, even if she's a married woman. That's why at a certain point I said that there must be consent even in marriage for the woman. So yes, it's going to lead to some at a certain level destruction of the reproductive organ of the woman, because especially once it becomes chronic, especially when the man does it not once, not twice, not thrice, the woman becomes more like a sex slave in the house. I don't think a woman going through that will be able to perform her normal activities in the house. So yes, it hinders a lot of things in the house. The woman will not be able to give the right education she's supposed to give to her children, and worst of it all, if the children are aware, if the children are watching, it's even more disastrous to the family.
So you've mentioned a lot of things that violation against women, a lot of them. Can we now start looking at how or some of the things, I don't know, how can we prevent some of these things?
Yes, it can be prevented. It can be prevented by, as I said in the beginning, sensitization, awareness. Nowadays, we should not just spend our time sensitizing the women. We should also include the men. We should include the young boys. We should tell them how to treat a woman. We know that some women are not easy to live with. We know that a lot of women have what we call bad mouthing, especially for the married men. You decided to get married to her, is for the good and for the bad. So these men have to be sensitized that if a woman is irritating, the best thing to do is to walk away than to violate her. The best thing to do is to try to see maybe a therapist, see a counselor. Just walk away than to beat her up, than to throw her out of the house because your children are watching. And so please, I would like to call on government organization, non-governmental organization, we should include the men in this campaign. The Women's Day, men should be included. Men should not be left out because they are part of our lives. And this gender-based violence we're talking of today, the men are the major perpetrators of this act. So yes, the men should be included. The men should be sensitized. Sensitization should be done at the level of the communities, at the level of the schools, at the workplace. In general, a lot of sensitization and awareness. Then also, the girl child should be aware of her rights. The woman should be aware of her rights. Women need to be aware of the places and the people they have to meet when they are being violated, when they are being raped. Then also the social workers are to be groomed, that when situations come and meet them on their desk, it's not for them to gossip about it, it's not for them to place a stigma, because society has already placed a stigma on the rape victims. So the social workers should be open, should give a listening ear, should be empathetic to all the rape victims which come their ways. And I think if we do that, more rape victims are going to come out, more people are going to be healed, because when somebody is violated and raped, it all starts in the mind. If your mind is not healed, even your physical body cannot receive the treatment they are going to give you in the hospital. So awareness needs to be done at these several levels.
If somebody is raped, because you said it all begins, you've answered it, but I want you to elaborate on it a little bit. If somebody is a rape victim, and let me say you go to where you are supposed to report, and they maybe mock at you, maybe they insult you, because at times they will say it's the way you were dressed, look at the way you are dressing, you tempted the man, and the person is left halfway without achieving healing. What could be the after effects of such a case? After
effect, the person is drawn into more and more trauma. The girl child will start regretting why she spoke up in the first place. She now closes up on herself and takes her own decisions or her own actions that maybe might not even be beneficial for herself. She starts having sleeping disorder, anxiety. The trauma instead accentuates. If her trauma was maybe at 50%, it climbs up to 70, 90%. So it worsens the state. It worsens the state of the rape victim. Actually, it worsens the state of the victim.
There are some children, even if though they are not raped, or maybe they are raped, or there are some children with some problem, personal problems, and because of the society in which we live today, we have career mother, career father, and they don't have time to always talk to these children. Do we have little children like you want to say something, you're not giving the chance or opportunity, and it keeps eating them up? Can they also suffer any health effect as a result of that?
Yes, there's what we call in health comprehensive age-based sexual education. That is, the sexual education you are going to give to a child of 2 years is different from the sexual education you're going to give to a child of 10 years. It's different from the child of 15, the child of 20. So parents are supposed to be aware. At 2 years, you tell your daughter, tell her the name, this is the vagina. Just daddy and mommy are supposed to touch this when watching. No other uncle or auntie or neighbor is supposed to touch this. Tell your children that they should be open to you, because that's where it starts. If your daughter is very open to you, when a neighbor is going to touch her, then she will run to me, mommy, they touched this, and then you'll be aware, you know the right actions to take. But if you're just walk, you don't communicate with your children. Our advice, parents with little children, girls or boys, because little boys too are violated, tell them, let the children narrate their days. Tell them, let her come back from school, baby, what happened? Tell me, what did the teacher teach? Who did this? Who did that? They are going to sit and be opened, listen carefully. You will pick out one or two. Once in a while, have therapy sessions with you. You must not be a therapist to have the therapy sessions with your children. Just tell them, boost their morale. Nobody is supposed to touch you here. I am here to protect you. I will defend you. It will avoid a lot of situations.
Okay, we are talking to women. You know, some women are, what can I even say? They carry a lot of responsibility. We know women are gifted with they can multitask.
Yes.
But to an extent, the way some women work, it's like they can work, and if they had the chance, they will not even sleep. You want to work, you want to ensure that you provide money for this, provide money for that, and they decide to work the whole day, the whole night. Let's look at this situation and how it is going to affect the woman.
I think that as a woman, an African woman, we have to have a timetable. We have to know the perfect timing. Be it as a married woman and as a career woman, you need to take out time to take care of yourself. You are a human being, you are a woman, you are strong, you are the mother of humanity. You need to take out time, go out, visit friends, visit family. If you die today, that man is going to replace you. So please, women should take care of themselves. Go to a spa, and I want to tell you that you don't need too much money to make yourself happy. You can go to a restaurant, buy your plate of 1,000, drink. You're working your money, let it reflect on you. Be happy. Go to a spa, massage your feet, do your hair, look good. Make your hair. You are working money. Even if you're not working money, the little you have, make yourself comfortable. Visit family, visit friends. Women should have hobby, have things you do which make you happy. Have a life apart from your work, your husband, your children. We should try to everything has to have its place. As a woman, you should be happy. Be contented with what you have. Be happy of your physique. Remove all the inferiority complex. You've given birth, your stomach is this, your arms are out. It's normal. The hormonal changes and all. You just have to learn how to live with it and be happy. It's the month of the woman. It's Women's Day. Go out there, take a drink responsibly, be happy, take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. Is that important?
Okay, I want us to talk on another thing. Since we are talking about women, we are talking about gender-based violence against women and girls. There's another aspect. Even though I don't know, it might not really fall within this topic, but women and hygiene too is important.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want us to talk a little bit on it.
Yes, I would say
not a little, like elaborate on this.
A woman normally, a woman should bathe 2 to 3 times a day. No matter what. And as you're bathing, you're changing your underwears too.
Okay.
Then a woman is supposed to wear cotton underwears. This string that we wear today, cutting between our, it's not good for the female genital organs. It's a no. Then during menstruation, we how can I put it, where we have our monthly blood flow. That's even the time where you need to take more care of yourself. So during that period, you need to even multiply the number of baths you have. You need to be clean. Please, ladies, you need to smell good. You need to take care of yourself. You must not necessarily apply makeup, foundation, or wear expensive wig to look good. You need to bathe. Just your normal clean dresses. Wash your inner wears, your breast wears. You see a women wear breast wears for 1 month, 2 months, and he has not touched water. It's not good. It's not funny. It's not nice. So we should women to take care of their hygiene, of their personal hygiene. Wash your underwears. Wash your both pants and breast wears. Then you my mom used to tell me this you scrub lemon on your armpit to remove, and the back of your neck. And when you bathe, scrub. There's this gloves they sell today which has scrubs. Yes, this is good. You scrub yourself, and you wonder the amount of dirt that is coming out from your body. So please, women should take really good care of themselves. There are cheap skincare products nowadays which do not bleach the skin, and please, women should not go in for products which bleach the skin, because it exposes your skin to other diseases, to sun rays and all, which are going to be detrimental for your health. So yes, women should really take out time to bathe, to look good and smell good. It's first of all important for themselves before being important for their partners and their children.
Thank you for that, because you know this Women's Day celebration, we have been having a lot of talk about women and all is about violation against women and girls. But this important aspect of women and hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
in as much as you are taking care of yourself, does not mean that you must only go out there, meet friends, visit. Take care of yourself, like
Exactly.
take care of yourself. You understand? All right, thank you very much. We are almost going out, but I will give you this opportunity. It's Women's Day. We have girls, we have young girls, even in school, that are not aware of so many things. Even though we have these NGOs that they go around now to try to sensitize girls and boys in school. But I want you now to use this opportunity to talk to these young girls, to talk to these women out there.
So what I would say to these young boys, to these young girls out there, they should be responsible. They should avoid peer pressure. What your friend is doing in school is not necessarily the right thing. You should listen to what your parents are saying. The morals your parents have impacted in you at home, take it as your Bible. That should be your Bible. If your parents can afford one shoe for you, stop having long eyes, looking at what the other friend is bringing to school, what the other friend is wearing, what this is doing, that. Focus at this level is your education. What matter to you as a young girl is your education. There is so much power in a young girl being intelligent, being bright, growing up, going to school, having her own money, being independent. Nobody is going to talk down on you. When you're self-confident, nobody is going to talk down on you. So please, young girls out there should stop looking at, no, I need to be rich. No, you cannot want the kind of money a 30-year-old woman has. You cannot want the kind of handbag a 40-year-old woman has, a kind of house and car. It doesn't work that way. You're going to end up stealing. You're going to end up in prostitution. So we need to be realistic about life. Actually, we have to be really, really realistic and down to earth. We need to go according to our means. If your means, you can afford a week of 5,000. That's fine. Go in for it. All what you have to do is just to look clean. It's Women's Day. Go out there and enjoy yourself.
Okay, we are talking about, you still have to talk about gender-based violence. We're talking about gender-based violence and against women and girls. It's Women's Day tomorrow. Some of these women are going to maybe provoke these men. You know, they used to use advantage of this day to do so many things. And at the end of the day, they can really provoke. Even though you said there is no cause, the perpetrator of the act is responsible for that. But at least these women also have to be responsible.
Yes, I will say that yes, the women to have that part to play. Tomorrow, we know a lot of scenarios. You hear partners have beaten their wives went out in the morning, did not cook for the children, she went out, did not clean the house. It should become a relationship, or it should be communication. Communicate with your partner. You know his soft spot. Tell him, Daddy, please, tomorrow after work or after the match passed, I'll be going for a drink or two with my friends. He's aware. If he refuses, try and beg him, try to come to a compromise. You can decide that no, if you are getting up at 4 at 6, you get up at 5, you clean the house, cook his meal, his children are okay. I don't think any sensible man, seeing all of that, you have gotten up in the morning, you have taken care of the house, everything is clean, he has his food, will refuse you going out on Women's Day and having fun. Then women have to be responsible for what they say, because a lot of women, you see a woman, she does not even have the physical ability, but she's confronting her partner, she's confronting, and that's really what a lot of men do not have, that patience to take in on them, and not immediately they are provoked, they want to hit. That's what causes all of this gender-based violence. So please, when it's not necessary that when your husband or your partner is shouting at you, you too have to be raising your voice at that same point. No, they are not two wrongs do not make a right. Even though at that point your partner is wrong, try as much as possible to be quiet, listen to him, and I think that problem can be solved. Maybe later in the day, you come to him softly, nicely, and tell him that, please, as you see like this, I do not like what you did here and here and here. And I think that any sensible man would listen to you with a calm head, and you solve the solution. You solve the problem. Sorry.
Thank you so much. We're talking about gender-based violence in the health world, and you might be surprised. We are looking at all of this, and it can also lead to health disadvantages. It can also lead to health issues that some people, like you said here, the one lady who got pregnant against the doctor's will, it can lead to death.
Yes.
So these are the things we are looking at. As we are women, we make sure that you do not disrespect people. Behave responsibly, but you should also know your right. I like the fact that you said women and girls should know their right and also know where to go to if they are violated. It's very important.
Very important. It's very, very important.
All right, I really wish to thank you for coming to the program, but before you go, I want us to look at this this aspect of risk, because there is this I asked the question, you answered it, but this other aspect of, is it only when a man, or does a man need to go intimate? I'm trying to fix my word, it's still early in the morning. If you want to go intimate with your wife as a husband, do you have the right to just go in each time you want to, or the lady, does she has the right to refuse?
Yes. Even as a married couple, even as a partner being in an intimate relationship, the woman has to give her consent before an intimate a sexual intercourse. So yes, a woman has to give her accord. A woman has to give her consent. No consent for sexual intercourse, even in marriage, is considered as rape. So yes, a woman has to give her consent. Let her no be no. If she tells you no, darling, honey, I'm tired, please let her be and come maybe later on and for the sexual intercourse. So yes, a woman can actually go towards the government and say her husband raped her. So yes, it's very possible, and women too should try as much as they can. It's not every time that your husband will come to you for a sexual intercourse and you're always no, I am tired, I am not in the mood, the children have been disturbing all the day. We all know that the libido of the men are far higher than that of the women. So there should be mutual understanding in the couple. Actually, they should understand themselves, and it's a no for the man to forcefully have sexual intercourse with his partner.
Okay, Ruth, we are about leaving. Do you have any other thing to add?
Well, I would really like to thank you for having me on the program. I want to wish a happy Women's Day to all the women out there, especially to the women of the Boya community, and enjoy the Women's Day.
All right. I'm also happy to have you. You're young. You're married.
Yes.
So because most of the times we journalists, when we host the program, you start seeing people like, okay, she's not supposed to be saying what she's saying like that because she's not married, she does not understand. She is married though, because you start arguing, sending messages and bulleting me she's married. So she has an idea, an experience of all the things that she has said here. It's just for us to make sure to know that gender-based violence can result to health issues that can also lead to death. So you as a woman or a man who is being violated, you need to speak up. You know the places to go for it to stop, because if it continues, it can lead to some health issues. Happy Women's Day to everybody out there. Happy Women's Day to all the women in Boya, in Cameroon. Happy Women's Day to all our High TV ladies. Happy Women's Day to you all. And thanks very much, Claudine, the lady behind the machines, the thousands of buttons, is a lady. So happy Women's Day to you, Claudine Kamfu. Happy Women's Day to our boss, Humphrey Ayok. Happy Women's Day to myself. Stay tuned to High Television. The rebroadcast come up on Tuesday, and stay tuned to High TV.